Part 4, my insane marriage story where I married a man after a month. We are back in LA, the cracks are starting to show, and I get into a fight outside the gay bar. Can't wait for the haters in my comment section that are like, oh my God, she's lying again. Nobody's life is that interesting. Look, for those people, I am so sorry that your life is so uncolored, uninteresting, and unvibrant that you have to come and criticize my life and my real life stories and my actual validated existence. However, I will say that you don't have to be on my channel. All my stories are 100% real. If you don't believe me, I really don't care because my stories then aren't for you. You can change the channel, and I'm sure that there is some tech bro explaining Bitcoin on the internet that you can watch. Now on to the story for all my beautiful and wonderful followers that my stories are for. I love you. Thanks for being here. This is a good one. We have arrived back in LA and Takis has basically moved in with me. We were spending most of our time at my place, but we were still going out with the Greek fam and the crew. And we decide when we're back that we want to go out with the girls, gays, theys, and Greeks to celebrate our marriage and our wonderful nuptials and our new life together. So we go out for a cute night and Takis brings along a lot of friends that I actually hadn't met. So it's me, his cousin Maisie, Yorgos, the Greek guy that was also the best man, a bunch of my gays, and then there was in particular this one girl. Her name is Cassie. You know that I usually like to protect the identities of people by using fake names, but this girl deserves to be called out. You'll see later why she deserves to be called out by her first name. We go out for a regular day in WeHo. We go out to the Abbey, and then we are going to a couple other gay bars in the area. One of the bars was a bar that used to be around called Rage, if you guys remember it. It was a fun, colorful gay bar in West Hollywood. It was very popular and poppin'. They played some really good ratchet-ass music, and we were standing in line there. Now, Cassie was underage. She was 20 years old, and not much younger than me, but she was not legal to go into the bars. So we were walking into all of the bars, and Takis kept asking me to pass her back my ID because she looked like she could similarly be me, I guess. I don't know. She was like another mixed brown girl with dark hair. And so I would have to go through, pass my ID back to her, and she would come through. He would talk about her like she was he and Maisie's little sister. They were really close with her, and Maisie especially was close with her because, surprise, surprise, Cassie was also in the young girlfriend category of work. But from the get-go, I could tell that Cassie was a little bit hesitant of me, and I had this inkling feeling, we should always, always, always trust our gut, that it was because she had some sort of crush on Takis or there was something that had gone on with them. And we're all dancing and stuff, and she was wearing this super tight white bodycon dress. She looked like she maybe bought it 2 sizes too small. You know what, girl? Do what you gotta do. And it was so tight, she wasn't wearing a bra, and it was basically see-through. And you could see all the things that God gave her. And we're on the dance floor dancing, and at one point, she's like laughing with Takis, like, I'm pushing him. And he reaches over, and I swear to God, I see him pinch her right there. And I'm like, did my eyes deceive me? Am I temporarily blind? Is the haze of the gay bar causing me temporary blindness or hallucinations? But I just kind of look at him and I go over, and we've only been together for a month, right? But we are married. So I go over, I'm kind of dancing with them, and he looks over at me, and I was like, okay, I think that I had my eyes blinded for a second. Did I just see you pinch her nips? And he starts laughing, and he goes, yeah, babe. He's like, because they're just so on display, look. And then he did it again. That's a red flag. I'm like, sir, I am your wife, and why are you pinching another girl's ant bites right next to me while I'm standing here? Also, a girl that you are calling your little sister. Okay, red flag number 1. Like, what? They're just nipples. I'm like, sir, I don't know what y'all do in Greece, but this definitely is not the way that we do things here. And I have a lot of Greek girlfriends, and they confirm that that is also not what they do in Greece. So I was like, okay, please don't do that again. And he's like, whatever. They go and get shots, and one of my very good gay friends, we're going to call him Shane, he and I start living it up on the dance floor, right? And he ends up accidentally spilling his cranberry vodka onto Cassie. And I will admit that there was the villain part of me that felt a little bit vindicated because she had been flirting with my man all night. She's pissed, and she's like yelling at Shane, like, oh my God, like, how could you not see me there, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, girl, I'm sorry. So Maisie takes her to the bathroom, and me and Shane are there, and we're like, we're hungry. And Takis says, like, okay, where do you want to go? And there is a RIP Kitchen 24. It was a spot on Santa Monica Boulevard that had late night eats, and I loved their burger there. So we're like, okay, yeah, let's go to Kitchen 24. We'll gather the girls up and we'll go. We're waiting. These girls are taking forever. And so me and Shane are like, okay, well, we're really hungry and we want to go ahead. And so Takis is like, okay, you guys go ahead. I will wait for the girlies. I'm like, Okay, me, Yorgos, and my gays, we all go to Kitchen 24. We're ordering food, we're sitting and laughing, and in walks Takis, Maisie, and Stain's dressed Cassie. And they're walking in, and Cassie looks visibly upset. Like she is staring daggers at Shane. But they walk over, they order food, we're all kind of sitting there laughing and chatting, and we're in a booth, right? And in the booth, the way it's sat is I'm sitting in the middle. On the right of me is Shane. On the left of me is Takis. In front of me is Cassie, and then everyone else around. We're eating and stuff, and we're all tipsy, obviously, and Cassie is blowing into her drink. She's drinking a water. She's blowing into it with her straw, and it's like getting everywhere. And she's like laughing, like, her and Maisie are laughing. And I'm just like, what is this bitch doing? So, but I'm talking to Shane, and we're just kind of like laughing about things, and then suddenly a piece of ice goes flying across and hits Shane in the face. What the hell? And we look over, and Maisie and old Cassie are giggling and have their heads down. And Shane's like, hey bitch, did you just throw a piece of ice at me? And she's like, no. And he's like, whatever. So we're chatting again, eating our fries. I am so hungry, y'all. Another piece of ice comes flying. It hits me now. And I look over, I'm like, okay, who the hell is throwing ice? And Maisie and Cassie are laughing. I'm like, y'all need to stop. This is not the time and place for this. And Cassie's like, who are you to tell me what to do? Bitch, don't get attitude with me, girlfriend. You need to relax, okay? I was like, we're trying to have a conversation, so quit with your freaking ice. I know that you're a child, but you need to relax. So I turn back over. Another piece of ice flies over and it hits Shane in the face. And we both turn and Shane starts yelling at her. He's like, bitch. He was like, I will jump across this table and I will take that cup of water out of your hand. You need to stop right now. And she goes, yeah, well, at least it's not a red drink, you clumsy fuck. And then they start going off of it. And then in a loud voice for all of WeHo to hear, she just goes, oh yeah? Well, fuck you. And drops the F-bomb. Oh yes, that F-bomb. Y'all, I have never jumped across a table so quick in my life. I dove across the table and I snatched her by the head. I just start using my left hand as God and my Filipino mother intended. And she is just getting wrecked. And she ends up pushing me down. The bouncer comes over and kicks us both out. We're all outside trying to get our druthers together while the boys are paying. People are trying to keep me and her apart. She's still yelling at me and Shane. And I was like, first of all, girl, I need to apologize to him because I cannot believe that you would use that slur in his own city, no less. This is WeHo. This is his capital, girl. You're the one that doesn't belong here. I've kind of calmed down and I'm just like sitting there while she's trying to get at me and people are holding her apart. And finally Takis comes out and he's like, you need to relax to her. And she's just like, and she goes, yeah, well, screw you and your little paid mail order bride. Y'all, again, I see red and I just lunge at her. Everyone is trying to keep us apart. I'm like, screw you, girl. You don't know what you're talking about. We're together for real. And she's like, oh, don't you see that he's just using you? You don't see that? You don't see that? They keep us apart. And finally, I go sit down on the sidewalk next to the bouncer and Yorgos. I'm trying to relax. And Shane is like over there like, thank you, queen. And all the gays are like, screw that girl. You know, everyone was like yelling at her. Maisie had gone around to go get the Mercedes. She brings it around and they're trying to shovel this girl into the car, right? They shovel her in. Maisie just looks at Takis and she goes, all right, are you coming? And I'm looking at him on the ground like, yeah, are you going with them or are you coming home with me, your wife? Maisie like looks at Takis and she's like, come on, we gotta go. And he looks at me and I was just like, look, you wanna go with them, go with them. But just know that tells me a lot about where your priorities are. What does he do, y'all? He gets in the damn car. And he drives off. I'm super upset now because I've just had an emotional wrestling match with this frickin' girl. Shane is like, come on, girl, I'll take you home. So he takes me home. We get to my place, and the place that I was living in at the time was this really cute little bungalow. The way that it was set up was the walkway that led up into this cute little garden courtyard, and then my little bungalow, they were all standalone places, was in the very far corner. So when you're rounding the corner, you can't really see the front of my door, so you can't see if someone's standing there. We walk up, we're kind of chatting, we round the corner, and I see someone standing and lurking in my doorway. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? It's Takis. He's standing there. Shane's like, okay, girl, you're in good hands. Love you, blah, 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 blah. He leaves. I look at Takis. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, look, I'm really sorry. I realized that I should have gone with you in the first place. I was a little worried because I thought that Maisie might be intoxicated and couldn't drive. So that's why I wanted to just make sure that they got home. And then I came here as soon as I could. And I was like, okay. And at the time, you know, y'all, I believed him. I was just like, okay, that's totally fine. We go in the house, and I'm like, I can't believe that Cassie girl said that to Shane. And I can't believe she was like all trying to say that I'm this compensated bride. Like, you didn't stick up for me. He was like, I was just trying to wrangle the situation. I was just trying to make sure that nobody was actually getting hurt. I'm like, right, but you should have stuck up for me. Is that true? Like, is that how you see me? Is that why you started dating me? And he was like, of course not. I fell in love with you. He's like, I didn't even want you to do this situation with me. I wanted to do this as a business transaction with somebody else because my relationship with you was real, 100%. So we go to bed, and in the middle of the night, at like 4 a.m, we hear a knock on the door. We go out, we open the door, and it's Yorgos. And Yorgos is like, hey, I'm really sorry that we're here like this, but Maisie is on one. We look behind, and Maisie looks like she has been on a bender for 3 weeks, even though we just saw her like 3 hours ago. Her eyes are crazy, and she's clearly on something. And she just looked at Takis, and she's like, I don't want you in my house anymore. I can't believe that you would leave when we needed you. You chose the bed that you want. You want to choose her over us. You can stay here, and you're completely cut off from me. And he's like, what? Now, keep in mind, right? This is translated to me after the fact because she is yelling at him in Greek. So anytime that they wanted to talk about something that I didn't hear about or I didn't know, they would speak in Greek since I didn't understand it. So she's yelling at him in Greek. So I'm just sitting there looking like, what is happening? And Yorgos is looking at me like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm the messenger. And she's screaming, screaming, screaming. And Takis, who is a rapid firecracker, is just standing there taking it. And she ends up leaving, storming off, and I don't even know what's going on until he explains it to me after. What I didn't realize at the time was that Maisie's life was funding the life that her and Takis had. Now, Takis had had money before, but I didn't realize where it went, which we will get into the backstory, because then he looks at me and he says, I can't go back to Maisie's. I'm going to have to stay here with you. Are you and I going to be okay? Because now it's just going to be you and I, and Maisie's going to be out of the picture. And I was like, okay. And he was very vulnerable. And he's looking at me like, we're going to be okay, right? Like, it's just going to be you and I. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I didn't know what that meant, right? I didn't know that this man was sharing a bank account with his cousin Maisie. I didn't realize that he didn't actually have any more money of his own. So yeah, next episode we sit down. Takis tells me his entire backstory, how he lost $100,000, how he got from Greece to America, and why he wasn't allowed to go back to his home country. Episode 5 coming up. Love y'all.